Alright guys, so I had a lot of questions from my peers at my college about what I had to do to get into the Navy, what it would take to get to the point of boot camp. I have not gone to boot camp yet. I'm actually exactly 1 week from going to Great Lakes, Illinois for Navy boot camp. But since I had a lot of questions, I wanted to go ahead and answer some of them, because if just a couple of my friends have questions, I'm sure a lot of people have questions. I'm not an expert, but I can tell you what I know. The first step to joining the Navy is making sure it's what you want. A way you can do that is by going to talk to the recruiter, and I had a really good recruiter. My recruiter didn't tell me any lies. I know there's been some talk that recruiters lie to you, but it's also part of your responsibility to research things. And if you find that you might think that your recruiter didn't tell you the truth about something, go ahead and research it for yourself. I mean, bring it up to him, say, hey, you know, this is what I found. Can you please explain it to me? I had to do a lot of research for myself before I went in to talk to a recruiter, because I wanted to look really smart about what I was doing, to look mature. But go and talk to your recruiter. That's the first step. Talk to your parents. If you're, you know, even if you're 18, talk to them. Let them know what's happening. And then when you go to the recruiter, they're going to talk to you. They're going to ask you a whole bunch of health questions. It's important to be honest about them, because they're going to find out. They have questions inside of questions that would really fool you up if you weren't telling the truth. They're going to give you, if you haven't taken it already in high school, they're going to give you a test called the ASVAB, ASVAB, and that's just an entrance exam. The way you score on it, what you score on it, will tell the recruiter where you stand, and it will definitely, it'll open you up for some jobs. If you don't score high enough, you might not get the job you want, and if you score too low, you may not even be accepted into the Navy. I know if you score about in the 60s or 70s, you're doing okay. Nuclear stuff, if you want to be a nuke or stuff like that, you need to score somewhere in the 90s, which is, I've seen a lot of people do it. It's pretty okay. After you take that, your recruiter will discuss with you what you could be open for. But it's going to be up to the captain, when you go to MEPS, what's actually open. There's a lot of jobs right now that aren't even, no. I saw a girl when I went to MEPS that she scored like a 98, and she walked away with no job. And I scored lower than her. I made an 82, and I walked away with a job. So it just depends on what's available. Okay? Of course, you could always settle for a job that's not quite your score, but if you really want the good stuff, it's worth waiting for. When you go to MEPS, you're going to have a health screening. They're going to test everything. You're going to have to answer some more health questions. Basically, what your recruiter gave you was just a practice. But you're going to have to go ahead and answer more that an actual nurse gives you. And it's a little bit longer. It covers more in detail. Like for me, it even covered my braces. I had to get my braces taken off for boot camp, and I only had them for 6 months. So that's one thing. I mean, they go really in depth. You know, you ever done this? You ever done that? Ever done drugs? Don't lie to them about drugs, because they will find out. They do drug testing. You're going to have an ear test, an eye test. You're going to have a test where you might be in the room with a few girls or a few guys if you're a man, where you take off your clothes except for your bra and underwear, or just boxers if you're a guy, and the doctor and the woman or man escorting you will have you do a series of exercises to see if you are if you're fit enough, to see if any bones are wrong, or if you have any weaknesses in any extremities. And then right after that, they'll take you into a private room just by yourself and the doctor, and they will check out your downstairs area. They do it for a couple seconds. They just want to make sure there's nothing crazy going on. Yeah, that's basically MEPS. You will be waiting a long time. For me, I got all my stuff done in one day, but that's very rare. I had my health screening, my contract, everything done in one day. But my recruiter and me were there for 12 hours, and only an hour and a half of that time I was there had to do with me. You're going to be waiting for a lot of people to get done if you're not lucky. Then, after your health screening, if they find out you're all clear, you're going to be taken into a room with the captain, and you can choose your job, do all that stuff. And then you got to go sign your contract, and it's signed biometrically, meaning that you give them your fingerprints, okay? And then after that, you kind of just wait. Depending on your job, you will probably be chilling anywhere from a few days to a few months, even up to a year and a half. You're going to be chilling. I only had to wait 2 months. I go in a week. But, yeah. I'm practicing for boot camp now. I know I have to be able to go ahead and run, like, you have to know how to run a 1.5 miles. I think it's about 15 minutes for women and 12 or 13 minutes for men. You have to know how to do, like, 30 push-ups and I think, like, 80 sit-ups. I don't know. I'm pretty sure with those numbers you'd be okay going to boot camp. I heard that their track is not the same as the high school track where 4 laps equals a mile. I heard for them it's 8 laps equals a mile. But their laps, of course, are shorter, half the size of a high school lap. Yeah, but when I get back from boot camp, I promise to post another video talking about boot camp. But until then, I hope I was beneficial. Bye.